3 people.
Okay. It takes a few minutes for everybody to get on. So,
Update.
hi everyone just joining. My name's Chelsea from Girl Scouts of Western Ohio, and we are doing the Brownie Outdoor Art Creator Badge, Step 5 today. We're going to wait a few minutes to get started for everyone to get here, and in the meantime I'd love to hear everybody's names and where they're from. Are there a few people on there? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So, if you didn't catch it, I'm Chelsea from Western Ohio. We're doing Brownie Outdoor Art Creator Step 5, Design with Nature. The other steps are find art ideas outdoors, make something, dance or make music outdoors, and to be a nature photographer. So today, my favorite part of this badge is to do fairy houses, and that's what we're going to be working on today. It is a little bit windy, so if you have a hard time hearing me, please let me know in the comments. So with fairy houses, they can also be called a Brownie Elf House. So if you look at the badge description that you get from Girl Scouts USA, it will say a Brownie Elf House, and Brownie Elf Houses and fairy houses are pretty similar. They have a few things in common. But first of all, does anybody know what a Brownie Elf is? Anybody? A Brownie Elf is a mythological creature or something that you hear stories about but you don't exactly see very often. And a Brownie Elf is a small creature that would come and help people with their housework at night. So if there were chores that were left undone, they would help out that family. And that's where that name came from. And that's actually what our Girl Scout brownies are named from, because they're so wonderful and helpful. And at least that's what I've been told. Fairy houses are always really fun, right? We see lots of fairy houses all over. They're really popular right now. The kind of fairy houses we're doing today might not be the kind that you see in stores or on Pinterest, because we're going to follow some very specific rules. So the first rule is that we're going to use materials found outside in nature. So we're going to use things like sticks and rocks. I've got a whole bunch of them here. We're not going to use any man-made items. So if you're outside looking for materials and you find litter, so like plastic, maybe a bottle cap or a water bottle, a wrapper, we're not going to use any of those. And there's a few different reasons why. Does anybody have any guesses why we wouldn't want to use litter when we're making our fairy houses outside?
I think the comments are too delayed without a response.
Okay.
We're still getting first.
We don't want to use litter outside when we're making our fairy houses, because we really want to try to respect the environment as much as possible. So if we're leaving litter outside, even if it's part of our project, that's not great for the environment around us. That's not taking good care of the environment. If there's animals nearby and they eat that, it could make them really, really sick, and we really don't want that to happen. So instead, if you find litter and man-made objects laying around when you are out looking for materials, it's a great time to pick them up and throw them away safely. Especially right now, there's a lot of crazy germs going around, so make sure you use gloves or use a plastic bag and turn it inside out and use that as a glove to pick stuff up, and wash your hands because we don't want germs. We also want to make sure, this one's really important, really hard sometimes, but to not disturb living things. And by living things, there are lots and lots of living things in nature. Not all of them are animals. Animals are really cool, but there's other stuff too. So we've got lots of plants around us. We've got lots of trees. And these trees, they may seem huge and sturdy, but we can still do damage to them. And so even though there's a lot of really cool bark on this tree, I'm not going to peel off any bark and use it for my fairy house, because that's not very nice for the tree. We're also not going to pick any leaves off of the tree. So what I want everyone to use is what they find on the ground. If you see a lot of grass, don't pick the grass. Let the grass keep growing. If you find dead plants somewhere, you can use that. And I have some of that here in the materials that I've gathered. So when you look for your fairy house materials, you're going to want to look all around in your nature space. So everybody's nature space might be different. For me, I'm in my backyard right now. I really wanted to do this from the park, but it's really windy and there's a walleye run right now in Ohio, so there's a lot of people at the park and I really don't want to get their germs, so we're going to be right here for this. But you want to look around in your nature space. And so my nature space has some trees and a lot of grass. Other people might have a lot of woods. Some people might have sand or shells. Maybe you live by a beach. That would be really cool because then you could get lots of different options. So some of the things that I found in my nature space are a bunch of sticks. Got a whole bunch of sticks because those are really important. Those really help build a structure. And I've got these that are dead branches from a tree. I've got some leaves, not a ton of leaves because it's not the best time of year for finding leaves on the ground. That's really great for fall, but you can always make another fairy house in the fall. And I've got bark that I did find on the ground. So this is okay because we find it and it's already dead and on the ground. We just don't want to peel it off the tree. What else do we have? Oh, I got some pine cones. Pine cones are awesome. We have lots of little tiny sticks. I found some nuts. Oops, there's some here. So we've got some little pieces of walnut. There's lots of squirrels in my yard that love to eat walnuts and they leave walnut shells everywhere. And these are really cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for yet, but we can always find a use for them, right? Whew, my nose is getting stuffed up. I was really excited about this. When I was looking at my nature space, I found some feathers. These feathers are awesome. I'm still not sure what I'm going to use those yet for either, but there's lots of different things if you just look. You got to look really closely and look all around. And there's some stuff that you might find that's not in your nature space. So while I was thinking about this during this week, I realized that there were other natural objects that weren't outside. So I don't know about you guys, but I like to eat fruit a lot. And so I like to eat apples, but I also got a cantaloupe this week. I was super excited because I love cantaloupe. And I saved the seeds. So you can use things like that too. You can use seeds from fruit. You can use acorns, all sorts of really cool stuff. So, where am I at here? Oh, I was going to tell you guys about, there's this really awesome book. If you would like to check it out, we don't have time for me to read the whole thing right now, and I'm not sure that the pictures would show up really well, but it's called Fairy Houses by Tracy Kane, and I love this book because it gives you lots of really cool ideas about fairy houses, and explains why it's really important to respect the environment. So I was going to share a couple pages. This page has a lot of different fairy houses, which is cool because there's lots of different places that you can build your fairy house. And you got to choose carefully because you don't want it to be right next to the road or the sidewalk where somebody might mess with it, or maybe a dog might go up to it and knock it over. We want it to be, I like to put my fairy houses next to a tree or a rock that can stabilize it and keep it from falling over. You can put it up in the tree branches if you want. There's all sorts of different options that are really cool. And you're going to start really small and simple. And the best way to start is with sticks. So I've got a fairy house that I've already started right over here. If you can see it. And on the bottom, I used lots of sticks. So it rained here recently, actually not very long ago at all, and so we've got, the ground's a little bit muddy, which is actually really helpful because then you can put sticks in the ground and they're going to stay in place really well, and that's going to help us make a really cool structure. So what I started with right now is a lean-to, and that's one of the easiest structures to start with, and that's a really great place to do your first fairy house. And you can always do more stuff too if you'd like. So a lean-to is going to lean up against this this tree. That's going to help it just not blow over, especially because it's super windy out and I don't want my fairy house to blow away, especially not halfway through the video. So I put lots and lots of sticks, lots of different sizes, all layered together. And then I took these branches. I've got lots of different branches here, and I'm using that to make walls on my fairy house. But I don't have enough branches to do all of it, right? What?
Gotta look at the camera when you talk.
Sorry, I don't have enough branches for all of the walls. So I've got some other really cool materials that I can use. I found a lot of bark laying around in my yard. So I'm gonna use, you can use bark for the walls. You can also use leaves. I have some really big leaves that are perfect for covering up those different spaces. And you can tuck it in wherever you would like, wherever it'll stay. Oh, I found this rock, and this is a really cool rock because it's really speckled. And if you're like me and you might have had, you always had a rock collection when I was growing up, and maybe you have a rock collection and there's one that you're okay with putting in your fairy house, those are always cool too. So you can put those in there. You can add, let's see, oh, I just had it. Okay, this walnut looks a little bit like a chair to me, so I'm going to put that inside my fairy house right in here. If you can see it. Another way that you can build your fairy house is if you have a stick that is a Y shape. So if you've got a stick like this, preferably with a longer piece, but it's got that Y shape, and that's really nice because then you can use that to hold up another stick. So that helps you build other things that aren't lean-tos. So if you would like to build something that's not leaning up against a tree or a rock, that's a really great place to start so that you can have that balance. I don't know if I have another Y-shaped stick somewhere. Ooh, it's getting cold outside. So yeah, you would have that anchored right there. Does anyone have any other ideas of really cool building materials that they might find in their yards? Do we have any comments?
They're really delayed.
Okay. All right. Has anyone asked any questions so far? Nope. Okay, cool. So there are some other badge steps along with the fairy house for the outdoor art creator badge. The first step is to find art ideas outdoors. So to do that, you can go on a nature detective hike, and those are really cool because it's to go investigate and get ideas, and you're going to look around, and you can even use that when do that while you're finding materials for your fairy house. So when you're outside looking around for really cool, I know when you're looking for stuff, it's really easy to always look on the ground, but sometimes you might find stuff higher up.
We're back on.
Oh, we lost connection first. The second step is to make something. So we actually already have some really cool videos. Earlier this week, Marissa posted a video for the Daisy did flower pressing. Find out about the different textures. So this leaf has like a really big texture, and then smaller leaves might have a different pattern. And there's a video from that this morning from the other Chelsea at Girl Scouts of Western Ohio. We also have dance or make music outdoors. This one I really want to do, but you can make a wind chime, and you can do all sorts of stuff with your wind chime. But what I would do is find a good size stick like this that's kind of thick, and you can paint it or decorate it, whatever you'd like. And then from your stick, you're going to hang stuff. So like if you have a soup can You can paint the soup can and hang that from your stick. You can hang other sticks if you have old keys or old silverware that your parents don't use anymore. Anything that might make noise when it hits each other. Anything that might make noise when it hits each other, you can hang from your stick to make... If you rearrange things on your stick, it might make different noises, which would be really cool. So there's lots of different ways to experiment with that. And then the last step that we're not covering today is to be a nature photographer. Sorry, things are blowing away here. Is to be a nature photographer. So, to be a nature, as if you were super tiny, like if you were the size of an ant or a butterfly, what would the world look like? So if you were an ant, you'd probably be way lower to the ground than I am right now, right? So maybe you'd want to put your camera down really, really low to get a picture that it looks like from a miniature world. And if you don't have a camera, you can still get your eyes down there and see what it looks like and then draw a picture of what it looked like to be pretending to be an ant. If you, super windy, if you are not already a Girl Scout and have enjoyed this video and or all of our other videos, please consider joining Girl Scouts. We have a lot of fun. You can check out more and sign up at girlscouts.org/join. And then join us again tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're doing junior musicians. It sounds really cool. Get it? Sounds, because it's music. And we would love to see pictures of your fairy houses. Hopefully they don't blow over in the wind.